Hi everyone, this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and in this video I asked my Lenormand and Cartomancy group on Facebook if they wanted to ask me any questions about my job and the fortune telling industry. So I put up a post in the group. Hi Lenormand people, I'm going to make a question and answer video. You can ask me anything you want to know about Lenormand cards or fortune telling or psychic industry or about reading cards for the public. So I've been a professional fortune teller now since 1990, and this is my only job, and I have a shop. My current shop is on Crown Street in Sydney, where I do readings every day. And I use a combination of tarot, Lenormand, astrology and palmistry, as well as other types of fortune telling and psychic work. Okay, so now for the questions from the Lenormand and Cartomancy group. First question is from Crystal. Is Lenormand similar to tarot? Well, they're not very similar because they're two distinct, separate systems. Tarot has 78 cards and it is in three parts. It has the minor cards, which we're looking at now. It has the court cards, which are the people cards, the kings and queens and knights and pages. So these represent actual people usually. And then it has the major cards, which are the major life lessons. Whereas Lenormand is a 36 card deck. And Lenormand does not have court cards or majors, it just has 36 symbols. It has a picture, it has a number, and it also has the little insert, which is the playing card section. Now, in Lenormand, we just read the symbols, and every symbol has a meaning. Lenormand tends to be more clear-cut and simplified, whereas tarot tends to be more esoteric. Now, as we can see, the little insert depicts the people. So instead of having kings and queens and pages and knights, we have the little people insert, which indicates, different people, men or women. So they're the main differences in Lenormand and tarot. We also have the two main characters in Lenormand, the man and the woman, and they represent people as well, usually the client and the person the client is thinking about. Okay, so now we have question 2 from Jones. What's the easiest spread for walk-in clients? So I'd definitely say the 5-card spread is the easiest one, and it's the most direct, and this is the one I also like to use online on Facebook, because having complicated spreads just makes things complicated, especially online. So you want to always keep things very simple. I will also use this spread in the tarot group as well, and I advise beginners to use this spread. Anything too complicated just confuses everything. So we have 5 cards, we have 2 of the past, the present is in the middle, and then 2 of the future. And then you can also do mirroring. The first card is reflected by the last card, and the second card is reflected by the 4th card. So let me explain mirroring for people. So it's like you have a mirror. So imagine this card that I'm holding is a mirror. So the left side will be reflected by the right side. Okay, so the fox will reflect the cross. So foxy behavior comes to an end or is a burden. The birds will reflect the anchor. Communication and networking needs to be stable. So this would be the spread I would use most on clients and walk-in clients as well as online. Okay, so back to the questions. So we have another question from Jones again. What cards do you see being read wrong? Example, mice as cute. So the main ones I differ from most people is the dog. I don't see the dog as a good romance card. Some people see the dog as like happy love, and it is a faithful card, but I see it more like a friend zone. And I think that my opinion of that card has developed over the years of using the cards. So that's one of the main ones. Another card that I find confusing for most people is the bear. I see the bear as a ferocious, dominating, overbearing person or thing. But I do see some people that see it as a cuddly, protective, card. I don't see it at all as cuddly. I see it more as wild and aggressive. The anchor is another card that a lot of people have different meanings for. I see the anchor as something heavy and stable, perhaps holding on. Sometimes it could be not moving forward. Some people see this as a work card, which I don't quite relate to. So there are slight differences, and I think ultimately you've got to come up with your own meaning that you feel comfortable with. I've come up with my meanings over time of using the cards with real clients. It's very important to study the traditional Lenormand card meanings and then sort of connect with the ones that resonate with you. But I do recommend you do need to learn the card meanings in a traditional way. Okay, we have another question from Sheila. Do you remember your first client, and did they have a significant reading that you never forget? Do they still come around? Did they become paranoid about the cards? Yes, I do remember my very first ever professional reading that I got paid for. It was a female client, and I did a Celtic cross for her. And this spread that I have in front of us here it's sort of like a reconstruction of the cards. Obviously, I can't remember the exact cards that she had, but this is sort of what I said to her. I was using tarot back then because I hadn't learned Lenormand yet. But basically I said to her, there's a man who has money and he seems to be someone you are with or you already know. But I don't really see happiness with this man. I'm just seeing lots of money and support. But then there's a man who's far away, maybe overseas, and I feel like there's lots of love and passion around this man. And when I said that, I was just starting out as a fortune teller, so I wasn't really sure what I was saying. And this client just started crying. And that was the first time I'd ever had a client or anyone cry in one of my readings. So I didn't know what to do. I was kind of nervous and I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know where to look. Anyway, eventually we talked about it and she said, what should she do? And I said to her, I think you should follow your heart because I feel like you're with someone more out of support and money. And I said, but your heart lies with someone else. And if you don't follow that, you'll never know. And she said, thank you. And she gave me the money and she left. And I've never seen her again. So I don't know what happened with her. So that was quite an amazing learning experience. My very first paid reading. I told my teacher about what happened, about the client crying, and my teacher said, oh, that's quite normal, and it's just people releasing emotions, and it's nothing to worry about. And my teacher just said I should get a box of tissues with me every time I have a reading, just in case the client cries. My teacher said it's just water coming out of their face and it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here so it's not too long. I will get around to doing some more question and answer videos, so stay tuned. If you have any other questions, feel free to write them in the text box below or in my Lenormand and Cartomancy group on Facebook. This is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop.